What's the ratio of success to failure? 90% failure, 10% success. That's the world. That's the market. That's reality. If you're emotional, you belong to the 90%. If you're logical, you carve your way into the 10%. That's the formula. No emotions, no hesitation, just logic. Every time you act on emotion, you surrender control. You become predictable, easy to manipulate. A weak move here, a reckless decision there, it all adds up. One slip, and you're done. Every decision needs weight. Every action needs calculation. Everything has a cost. If you ain't measuring it, you're losing. Think about markets, stocks, trends. The ones who panic lose money. The ones who stay calm, they buy low, sell high. They control the game. That's life. If you react like a fool, the system eats you alive. And the system never loses. It just shifts winners and losers. Your job? Stay on the right side. Emotion is an exploit. It's a backdoor in your system. It lets people in. They plant malware in your brain. Doubt, anger, fear, attachment. And you let them. You do it to yourself. Every time you overreact, you hand over the keys to your mind. That's why you fail. That's why you lose. Break it down. What's anger? A reaction to losing control. What's fear? A response to uncertainty. What's sadness? A signal of attachment to something you can't have. All emotional reactions, all distractions. If you strip it all away, what do you have left? Logic, strategy, calculation. That's control. That's power. A person who controls their emotion controls their outcomes. Look at war generals, traders, hackers, investors. The ones who dominate don't flinch. They execute. They adapt. They move when it's time. And they wait when it's not. You think a sniper pulls the trigger just because he feels like it? Number. He waits. He calculates. He understands the moment. Emotion. That's the mistake amateurs make. You lost something? Move forward. You got betrayed? Adapt. You feel pain? Use it. Every emotion is a tool if you make it one, or a weapon against yourself if you let it be. Choice is yours. You ever notice how winners don't talk about feelings? They talk about numbers, data, probabilities, because that's what matters. The second you start talking about how you feel, you've already lost. A weak mind reacts. A strong mind adapts. The world doesn't care about your feelings. The algorithm doesn't care. The market doesn't care. You think reality stops moving because you're hurt? It doesn't. It keeps going. It will bury you if you don't move with it. People think strength is about fighting harder. Number, it's about fighting smarter. Knowing when to engage, when to step back, when to strike, when to disappear. Strength is control. Control over self, over reaction, over decisions. Look at the greatest minds, the ones who built, who conquered, who dominated. They weren't controlled by emotion. They used it when necessary, detached when necessary. They knew when to be ruthless and when to be silent. That's why they won. That's why they lasted. Life is a system. Your mind is the software. Emotion is the virus. You either debug it or you let it crash your program. And if you crash, no one is coming to fix it. You'll just sit there, broken, wondering where it all went wrong. So what's the move? Cut the weakness. Every time you get emotional, stop. Break it down. Why are you reacting? What's the root? What's the trigger? Find it. Kill it. Adapt. You keep doing that, you become untouchable. Survival is numbers. Control is discipline. Emotion is the flaw. Master the system or be a victim of it. Choice is yours. Every time you react emotionally, you make a mistake. Every mistake costs something. Time, energy, money, opportunity, reputation. The more mistakes you make, the more you lose. It's not complicated, it's math. If you waste time being angry, you lose efficiency. If you waste energy being sad, you lose momentum. If you waste money making emotional decisions, you lose power. If you waste opportunity being afraid, you stay weak. If you damage your reputation because you can't control yourself, you become disposable. Everything has a cost. Emotion is expensive. Logic is free. Break it down. Look at the ones who lose in life, the ones who complain, the ones who blame, the ones who cry over things they can't change instead of adapting. Every single one of them has the same flaw. They let their feelings control their actions. They react instead of analyze. They act on impulse instead of reason. They self-destruct and then wonder why they're stuck. Now look at the ones who win, the ones who dominate, the ones who survive every storm, every setback, every betrayal, and come out stronger. They don't react emotionally. They observe. They calculate. They make decisions based on data, not feelings. They know that survival isn't about who cries the most. It's about who adapts the fastest. That's the difference. Emotion is a tool, not a compass. You don't let it guide you. You use it when it serves you and discard it when it doesn't. Simple. You feel rage, channel it into work. You feel pain, turn it into fuel. You feel fear, convert it into caution and preparation. But you never let it make decisions for you. Think about a chessboard. The grandmasters don't play based on emotion. They play based on position, probability, and risk assessment. Every move is calculated. That's life. Every move you make either puts you in a better position or a worse one. If you let emotion dictate your moves, you'll lose every time. Look at how systems are built. Governments, corporations, intelligence agencies. They don't care about emotion. They care about control. They study psychology because they know that people who can't control their emotions are the easiest to manipulate. The ones who react to every insult, every headline, every piece of bait, they're the ones who get played. You think the world is fair? You think it rewards good intentions? It rewards discipline. It rewards those who understand the rules and play accordingly. The ones who don't, they're the pawns. You ever notice how the richest, most powerful people never act emotionally in public? They stay calm. They stay composed. They speak carefully. That's not an accident. It's a tactic. Because once you show your emotions, you give people the blueprint to control you. They know how to push your buttons. They know what triggers you, and they will use it against you. That's why weak people never win long term. Discipline is everything. If you can't control your emotions, you can't control your decisions. If you can't control your decisions, you can't control your life. That's why most people fail. They let impulses dictate their actions. They chase temporary feelings instead of long-term success. They seek comfort instead of control. And then they wonder why they're miserable. You think life owes you something. It doesn't. It's cold. It's numbers. It's data. It's action and consequence. If you make weak choices, you get weak results. If you move emotionally, you get played. If you rely on hope instead of strategy, you stay broke. That's not negativity. That's reality. Take emotions out of the equation. Look at everything logically. If something isn't serving you, eliminate it. If a habit is making you weak, cut it. If a person is draining your energy, remove them. If a situation isn't profitable, walk away. It's not personal. It's business. And your life is the business. What's the cost of being emotional? Think about it. How many deals were lost because someone couldn't control their temper? How many relationships were destroyed because someone let their feelings take over? How many wars were started because leaders reacted instead of calculated? The cost of emotion is higher than you think. Now, what's the reward of control? It's power, it's influence, it's freedom. When you control your emotions, you control your reactions. When you control your reactions, you control your interactions. When you control your interactions, you control your outcomes. When you control your outcomes, you control your life. That's how it works. Look at the statistics. People who make decisions based on logic outperform those who make decisions based on emotion in every area. Finance, relationships, career, fitness. Why? Because logic removes error. Emotion increases error. The more errors you make, the more you fail. The less errors you make, the more you succeed. You ever notice how the best poker players don't flinch? They don't celebrate when they win. They don't panic when they lose. They stay neutral because they understand that emotion is a leak. The second you show it, people know what's in your hand. That's life. If you wear your emotions on your sleeve, you become easy to read, easy to predict, easy to break. Think about this. The person who angers you controls you. The person who makes you jealous controls you. The person who makes you emotional controls you. That's why you have to kill that weakness. Because if someone else can trigger you, they own you. You're not in control. You're a puppet. So how do you fix it? Simple. Observe more. React less. Analyze everything. Slow down. Take emotions out of the equation. Train your mind to detach. The less you feel, the more you see. And the more you see, the more control you have. Most people are addicted to emotion. They chase drama. They crave chaos. They thrive on reaction. That's why they stay broke, miserable, and stuck. They let life happen to them instead of making life happen for them. They get used. They get manipulated. They get played. And then they complain. Not you. You cut that weakness out. You move like a machine. You process everything like an algorithm. You execute like a professional. You control yourself so well that nothing external can shake you. That's the goal. Emotion is noise. It's distortion. It's interference. It clouds judgment. It weakens strategy. It destroys progress. You eliminate it. You gain clarity. You gain precision. You gain mastery. You want power? Control your emotions. You want discipline? Control your emotions. You want success? Control your emotions. It all starts there. The second you master that, everything else falls into place. No more weak reactions. No more impulsive decisions. No more self-sabotage. Cold mind, clear vision, ruthless execution. That's the way forward. That's how you win. You ever wonder why the most successful people seem detached? Why they don't flinch when they lose? Why they don't celebrate when they win? It's because they've already calculated the cost. They've already anticipated the outcome. They don't waste energy on emotions. They focus on results. That's the difference between those who control life and those who get controlled by it. Every time you let emotion guide you, you introduce error into the system. Look at it like a program. Every emotional reaction is a bug. Every bug slows the system down. A slow system gets outperformed. A weak system gets hacked. That's how the world works. People who can't control themselves get overridden by those who can. Look at your own history. How many bad decisions came from emotion? How many times did you speak when you should have stayed silent? How many times did you react when you should have waited? How many times did you chase something because it felt good instead of because it made sense? How much time, money, energy, and progress have you lost because of impulse? Add it up. The cost is higher than you think. Now flip it. Think about the times you made the right move, when you held back, when you wanted to react, when you walked away, when you wanted to fight, when you focused, when you wanted to give up, when you analyzed instead of panicked. Those were the moments that built you, that saved you, that gave you control. Emotion is an open door. If you don't control it, people walk right in and take what they want. Look at marketing, sales, media, politics. Everything around you is designed to trigger emotion. Why? Because people who feel too much stop thinking. A scared person buys security. A jealous person buys status. An insecure person buys validation. It's all a game, and the ones who play it best are the ones who don't fall for it. Think about wars. They don't start because of logic. They start because of ego, pride, revenge, fear, emotion. Billions of lives destroyed because someone couldn't control their feelings. Think about fights, murders, crimes, bankruptcies. How many of them happened because someone let emotion override logic? The pattern is always the same. The ones who fail react. The ones who win execute. Ask yourself this: who benefits when you lose control? When you get angry and say something you regret, who benefits? When you spend money emotionally and go broke, who benefits? When you panic and make a bad decision, who benefits? The answer is always the same: someone else. Every time you lose control, someone else gains from it. Think about fighters. The best ones don't throw wild punches. They don't swing out of emotion. They wait. They study. They let the opponent make the first mistake. And then they strike. Because the second you fight emotionally, you become predictable, easy to counter. That's why the greats stay calm, because control wins fights. Same with war. The strongest armies don't attack out of anger. They don't react emotionally. They set traps. They let the enemy exhaust themselves. They control the battlefield. The second you move emotionally, you lose the war before it even starts. Same with life. People who react emotionally don't control the game. They get played by it. You think billionaires get mad at every insult? You think they get emotional when someone talks behind their back? No, they focus on the numbers. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't care about feelings. And that's why they win. Because they play the game while everyone else is busy reacting. The world is a machine. It runs on systems, codes, structures. If you operate based on emotion, you go against the system, and the system always wins. That's why most people are miserable, because they keep trying to fight reality instead of adapting to it. Now, how do you fix it? 1. Detach from reaction. Every time something triggers you, pause, step back, observe. Most people react instantly because they think reacting is power. It's not. Power is knowing when to act and when to wait. Power is letting fools expose themselves while you stay silent. 2. Control your environment. Weak people put themselves in emotional situations and then complain about being emotional. Strong people control what enters their mind. They filter their inputs. They don't waste time on distractions, drama, or nonsense. If something is weakening your mind, cut it. You don't have time for that. 3. Think in data, not feelings. Feelings are temporary. Data is consistent. If you make decisions based on how you feel, you'll change your mind every day. If you make decisions based on data, you'll build something permanent. Look at the numbers. Who are the richest people? The strongest? The most successful? The happiest? What do they have in common? Discipline, control, mastery. They don't chase feelings. They chase results. 4. Train yourself to be comfortable with discomfort. Most people break under stress. They let discomfort push them into emotional reactions. That's why they stay weak. The strongest people are the ones who can sit in discomfort without flinching, who can take pain without reacting, who can operate under pressure without folding. That's real strength. 5th, remove attachment to outcomes. attachment creates suffering. The more attached you are to something, the more power it has over you. That's why people get heartbroken. That's why they get scammed. That's why they get played. Because they're attached. The solution? Detach. Care about the process, not the outcome. Work because it needs to be done, not because you expect a reward. Operate because it's logical, not because you want validation. 6. Understand that nothing is personal. Most people take everything personally. They think every insult is an attack. Every failure is a punishment. Every setback is a tragedy. It's not. The world doesn't care about you. It's just moving, adapting, evolving. The ones who survive are the ones who don't take things personally. The ones who see the game for what it is. You think nature cares about feelings? You think the storm stops because you're sad? Number. It keeps going. The weak get washed away. The strong stand firm. That's life. You either control your emotions or they control you. You either dictate your reactions or the world dictates them for you. You either master yourself or you get mastered by others. Everything in life is a transaction. You pay in discipline or you pay in regret. You pay in control or you pay in weakness. The price is inevitable. The only question is, what are you willing to pay? People chase freedom, but they don't understand what it really is. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's controlling yourself so well that nothing external can control you. It's moving through the world unaffected, unshaken, unbothered. That's real freedom, and it starts with mastering your mind. Detach, observe, execute, repeat. That's the system. That's the code. That's how you win. No emotion, no weakness, just strategy, just precision, just control. People destroy themselves because they refuse to understand one simple rule. Control wins, emotion loses. Look around, watch the people who fail. They live in reaction. They let every little thing push them, trigger them, shake them. One insult ruins their day. One loss breaks them. One setback derails them. They can't hold their ground because they were never standing on anything solid in the first place. They built their entire existence on feelings, and feelings are unstable. They shift, they change, they betray you. But logic, that stays. Data doesn't care about how you feel. Reality doesn't adjust to your emotions. The ones who win don't waste time crying about what they can't change. They adapt, they adjust, they execute. This world is engineered to control the weak-minded. Media, marketing, politics. It's all designed to trigger emotional reactions. Why? Because people who feel too much stop thinking. They become easy to manipulate, easy to sell to, easy to direct. If you're reacting to every headline, every comment, every opinion, you're already in the trap. And once you're in, you're not in control anymore. You're just another pawn on the board, moving when they want you to move, thinking what they want you to think, believing what they feed you. That's how they run the system. The ones who break free, they don't react. They observe, They calculate. They move in silence. Emotion is not a strategy. It's not a weapon. It's not an advantage. It's a liability. It's an exploit. A weakness that the world will use against you every chance it gets. Someone insults you, and you react. They just won. Someone betrays you, and you crumble. They just won. Someone disrespects you, and you let it consume you. They just won. The second you let an external force dictate your internal state, you've already lost. That's why the strongest people don't flinch. They don't let anything get inside their head. They don't let anyone else control the narrative. Because the moment you lose control of yourself, you hand it over to someone else. And in this world, the second you give up control, you become a target. Look at warfare. The best warriors don't attack blindly. They don't charge out of anger. They wait. They watch. They study. They strike only when it's time. You think the best snipers get emotional? You think they shake with adrenaline before they pull the trigger? No, they breathe. They steady their hand. They execute. If they let emotions take over, they miss the shot. And in war, missing the shot means dying. That's how life works. If you let emotions cloud your aim, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Think about every bad decision you've made in your life. Every regret, every mistake, every failure. Trace it back. What was the root cause? Emotion. You got mad and said something you shouldn't have. You got scared and hesitated. You got impatient and rushed into something without thinking. You got attached and stayed in situations that were killing you. Every single failure, a reaction instead of a calculation. That's the pattern. That's the trap. You either learn from it or you keep falling into it. Now think about the moments where you were at your sharpest, the times you made the smartest moves, the moments when you executed flawlessly. What was different? You were clear. You were calm. You were in control. That's the formula. That's the key. The more control you have over yourself, the more power you have over your life. Emotion is an expensive luxury. Every time you let it take over, you pay a price. And the price is always higher than you think. You lose time. You waste hours, days, years being angry over things that don't matter. You lose money. You make bad investments, impulsive purchases, stupid financial moves because you were thinking with your feelings instead of your mind. You lose people. You destroy relationships, burn bridges, ruin connections because you couldn't control yourself. You lose progress. You get distracted, sidetracked, derailed because you let temporary emotions pull you away from long-term success. The cost is endless. And yet people still refuse to let go of their addiction to reacting. Most people aren't in control of themselves. They think they are, but they're not. They get manipulated by their own feelings. They think they're making choices, but they're just running on emotional autopilot, repeating the same cycles over and over. They stay stuck in the same toxic relationships because they can't separate attachment from logic. They stay broke because they can't separate impulse from financial discipline. They stay weak because they can't separate comfort from growth, and they refuse to admit it because admitting it would mean taking responsibility, and responsibility is painful, but pain is necessary. Pain is a teacher. If you don't feel the pain of your mistakes, you don't learn. If you don't recognize your weakness, you don't fix it. That's why most people stay in denial. They don't want to admit that their own emotions are destroying their lives. They'd rather blame everything else. The system, the government, other people, circumstances, luck. Everything except the truth. The truth that the real battle is inside their own head. Control your thoughts. Control your emotions. Control your actions. And you control your fate. It's that simple. And yet, people make it complicated. They keep chasing happiness instead of chasing discipline. They keep chasing comfort instead of chasing mastery. They keep chasing the illusion that the world will adjust to their feelings instead of adjusting themselves to reality. And reality, it doesn't care. It will keep moving forward with or without you. The market doesn't care about your feelings. The economy doesn't care. The laws of nature don't care. You either adapt or you get left behind. Every second you spend being emotional is a second you lose to someone who is focused. Every minute you waste reacting is a minute you give to someone who is executing. Every day you let your feelings control you is a day you hand over to someone who controls themselves. That's the game. You either play it or you get played by it. So what's the solution? Cold logic, ruthless discipline, unshakable control. You train yourself to detach from reaction. You slow down before every decision. You break the habit of letting feelings dictate your moves. You analyze everything. What's the risk? What's the cost? What's the return? Every action is a calculation, not an impulse. You develop the ability to walk away from anything that isn't serving you. No hesitation, no second guessing. Just a simple question. Does this benefit me or not? If it doesn't, you cut it. No emotion, no attachment, no weakness. You learn to control your environment. You don't let distractions into your space. You don't let toxic people pull you into their drama. You don't waste energy on things that don't give you power. You structure your life in a way that forces you to stay sharp. You operate at a level where emotions don't dictate your reality. You dictate your reality. The world belongs to those who control themselves. The strongest warriors, the greatest leaders, the most successful minds, they all mastered the same skill, emotional discipline. That's why they last. That's why they dominate. That's why they remain untouchable. So what do you want to be? A pawn or a player? A victim of your emotions? Or a master of your fate? The choice is always yours. But make no mistake, only the disciplined survive.